Hey everyone, welcome. Miss Death here. Today I'm going to do a movie review of Toy Story 4. Before I begin, make sure you subscribe if you haven't to my channel. And hit the like button and leave me a comment. I want to know how I'm doing, what you think, or if you have any suggestions of what you might want to see me do on the channel, as in like cooking, or maybe even a movie review that you might want me to do. So we're going to begin with our movie review of Toy Story 4. So Buzz and Woody are back. And I was really excited that they made...
Need our protection. Let's go.
How rude. Really does. Really? I was excited that they did make a Toy Story 4. I love the Toy Story series all the way back from the very first one in 1995. So in the movie, what takes place is in the start of it, you have Buzz and Bo Peep, and we find out about pretty much how they say goodbye to each other and how we lose Bo Peep. Mind you, in the third movie, they didn't really touch a whole lot about Bo Peep and what happened to her. So we finally find out that she got pretty much adopted by another family. So that being said, forwarding to 9 years to Bonnie, Bonnie's going to kindergarten. So she's having a tough time, so Woody sneaks and goes with her to kindergarten. So Bonnie makes Forky at kindergarten. She makes a friend. Literally makes a friend. So once they go home, Woody introduces Forky to the gang. Forky's alive. So my thoughts instantly, you're telling me I can slap googly eyes and hands and feet on almost anything and it would be considered a toy? That's kind of creepy. So I don't quite understand the basis of how he came alive, because it's saying, again, I can do that to my refrigerator and maybe at night it would come alive when I'm sleeping. Kind of creepy. So, that being said, everyone goes on a road trip. Yay, road trip! So they go on this road trip. Forky decides, hey, I'm jumping out the window, because Forky's like, I'm trash. Forky doesn't think he's important. Well, what the heck? Poor Woody has had to babysit Forky. Forky goes after Woody, brings him back all the way to the campground or RV park, where there's kind of like a little carnival going on. And as they were traveling back, they ran into second-hand antiques where Woody sees Bo Peep's light. He goes into the store and hoping to find Bo Peep. Instead, he finds Gabby Gabby. Now, she's as sweet as can be from the start, but that doesn't mean she's got something up her sleeve. You would think from the get-go, Woody from Pioneer Pete and Lotso, he'd learn his lesson not to trust. Because I would have some trust issues after those two villains. Like, who wouldn't have trust issues? Right? Am I wrong? So they go into a little conversation. Gabby's voice box is not working. Never worked. Straight out of the box. She's got this whole creepy vibe when she finds out Woody has a voice box. She wants it. So she kidnaps basically both of them. Especially after she finds out they were probably made in the same factory the same year in 1950. Which brings me to a question of how come Woody has no recollection, how come Woody does not have any recollection of his past? I've always wondered that in the Toy Story franchise. Has Andy really only been his only owner? And if so, how come he doesn't remember being in the box? I mean, Pioneer Pete was sitting on the shelf and being in the box, and Gabby obviously remembers being made in her factory. How come Woody doesn't? And because there's got to be a backstory to Woody. Don't you all think that there is a backstory to Woody? I mean, I like to think there's one. I guess he doesn't. So anyways, he escapes eventually, leaving Forky behind. Well, he runs eventually into Bo Peep, and they come up with a plan to go save Forky. And then since Woody was taking so long to get back to the RV, that's when Buzz decides to go out looking for Woody himself. Eventually he does find Woody and also Bunny and Ducky. These two cracked me up during the whole entire movie. They were hilarious. There was scenes of them having these big imaginations of where they would pretty much attack the owner of the antique store, and at one point talking about just these crazy things. To me, they kind of made that movie. So eventually they all meet up to try to save Forky. The plan falls through, and then eventually everyone kind of goes their own way. Woody goes back in, and he meets up with Gabby and gives his voice box to Gabby. Why did Woody give up his voice box for Forky? Like, I guess I get it, because Bonnie is special to him and he wants to make her happy, but at the same time he sacrificed his voice box. In the end, everybody somehow became friends, kumbaya. Gabby got her heart broken because technically that whole voice box thing was for nothing. The person that she really wanted decided not to love her, discarded her. That makes you kind of sad. Like, what the heck? But then Woody sacrificed his voice box for what? So he convinces her, like, hey, let's all go to Bonnie. So they all eventually go, but luckily Gabby found a lost child and got adopted. Yay for Gabby! So maybe that voice box thing really wasn't a waste. It actually helped Gabby find a home, finally, after never having a home. So in the end of the movie, everybody finally meets up at the RV again, and Woody has to make a decision. Does he choose his family, or does he choose the love of his life? In the end, he chooses the love of his life and becomes a toy on the road. I was kind of sad about that, because in the end, like, him and Buzz and Jesse and the whole gang, that's his like family, his everything in a sense, and he gave all that up for Bo Peep, which I get, it's his love of his life, but that's a big risk, you would think. But in the end, it showed, Woody was happy and Buzz and the gang were happy. So, I mean, you really can't complain. Overall, this movie had everything to it. It made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me mad in a sense, but I loved it. So I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10 stars, just because it was a fun movie and it had my attention the whole time through. So, that being said, that pretty much concludes my Toy Story review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.